Good morning and welcome to Fire in the Belly. Today we have myself, Mighty Pete, and we're joined by Alex Pin. Good morning.
Good morning to you and everyone who's listening.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming on the show. So tell us, who are you, what are you doing, where are you from?
As you said, I'm Alex Pin. That's an international level because it's easier to pronounce. In my country is Aleksandra Pinteric, a little bit different. I come from Slovenia, small country in Europe. What do I do? Well, I'm multitasking as probably a lot of moms and women here. So I'm a mom, I'm a writer, I'm a speaker, I'm a motivator, I'm a coach. Not so much, okay? Because the first thing that I'm a mom and I'm a writer. I write children's stories. This is one part, and also some stuff for adults about consciousness parenting. So yeah, it's everything about life, wisdom, who we are, what we do, how to help kids, and it's also not just how to help kids, how to help ourselves, on the journey.
There's quite a strong child theme coming through there, if you don't mind me saying. It seems.
Sorry, I didn't get
quite a strong child theme, as helping kids and writing for kids. Is that a conscious thing for you?
I think it's very simple to write, for kids. It's just it's that I'm maybe more picky what I'm going to write about, because all the things that I write for kids is there are values, behind the stories. It's just everything going deeper to help kids and also to help their parents, to give them the tools. The story is a great tool. So to help kids with stories or around their recognizing their values, recognizing what ego is, recognizing what consciousness is. Maybe it's a little bit different approach, but it's something that children hear, It's just happened with, I began to write stories when I became a mom, because I had depression. Okay, when I got to birth, I was totally down and I was always super active and blah, blah. And in the beginning, I thought I'm going to be a great mom and this is not going to be a problem for me, But in the end, it just turned a little bit differently around. I really didn't know who I am at that point. Actually, becoming a mom was for me, we could say, a consciousness awakening. Really, it was a really great shift. I had to go deep inside of me and I had to find myself way out, and writing stories, especially children's stories, it was just a tool that helped me, the imagination, the energy around that. And at that time, I was a teacher in primary school. And when I started to read these stories to kids, they were so excited. Their eyes were big like this. And I said, okay, I've got something here. And then I just decided to publish the first book. And in 2 weeks after publishing, I received the reward. It was a book about ecological values for kids. And then it's just turned on a very interesting point in my life when my son said, Mom, someone is here inside of me telling me that I'm not a good boy. And he was 4 years old. And I was at that point, wow, I know that voice. I know what was actually happening and doing it to me, in my life. I have to do something about that. And it was just recognizing that's an ego voice, that how could I help child now? Because I didn't want to wait 10, 15, 20 years, when you start personal development work and blah, 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 blah. It's just, it's here. What do I have to do? And I was just, getting in totally with everything around, yes, psychology, energy, vibration, and just trying to find something how to help myself dealing with their inner voices. And yeah, again, the story came around about the badger. And through that story, a badger became a metaphor, okay, for that inner voice. In the beginning, for anger. It was everything, because the ego is the structure of thoughts, emotions. In the end, it's the vibration. So the badger became a metaphor for everything. And we started with anger. So when my son was angry, I said, okay, it's a badger around, And he said, yeah, he's very strong, and so on, how it is with being angry and those thoughts and those emotions. And through months and months, I've developed 5 pillars to help my son to understand the simplest as he could everything about the badgers, the ego, the negative part of us, if we can say so. So the first part was, everyone has a badger, also me and you. It's just recognizing, accepting, everyone has that. Everyone, you know, famous, you know, those on the streets, those on the beach, you know, those who are at the competition, you know, trying to get their goals. It's just everyone has a badger, those voices. So when you know that everyone has it, it's a relief, you know. I'm not the only one dealing with that. So the second pillar, it was the badger is always telling you that you are not good enough, that you are bad. It's always. It will turn, you know, positive thoughts against you. So it's always telling you. And then you know that everyone has this. So it's a connection between first and second pillar. The third pillar was, I love this one. Everyone feeds its own badger. So we feed our insecurity, our being not good enough thoughts, anger, hatred, jealousy, name it. We feed it with our own thoughts, with our own feelings. It's actually with our own life energy. We put it there or there, and where we put our mind, focus, attention on, that thing is growing. So it's actually taking the responsibility for every thought in your life, for every feeling in your life. It's actually taking the responsibility for your life. And it's not simple. And it goes together with first 2 pillars. This one is the toughest. My badger is calling out your badger. Or let's say it vice versa. Your badger is calling out my badger. We know how it goes in the communications and blah, blah, blah. You know, someone says something and then something just turns on inside of you. We got it. And when you start to observe everything inside of you, you start to divide with these pillars and with badgers, with this story. You start to divide everything around ego from consciousness, from observing this, what is happening inside of you. So yeah, and then you have to take the responsibility, you know, you feel it yourself, you have to change yourself, you have to change your thoughts and so on. You have to deal with your emotions, you know, anger management and everything. You just have to do it. No one else will do it instead, you know. Yes, we can help us, but with ourselves, we have to do it by ourselves. And then we have the 5th pillar, is that badgers don't like to be funny, you know, that there's something as a happiness around of you, that you just are positive. Badgers don't like that. So yeah, it was just, you know, then for 8 years, I was 24 hours per 7 with my son, totally just in these badgers, daily basis. And I started to see how he started to change from his insecurity to really understand life. He is now a teenager. He understands life so good, you know. He understands people and what is happening inside of him so good. He, you know, surprises me in the end. And then I just started to talk about these badgers around with people. I wrote a book also around for adults, for parents. And yeah, I'm now slowly for the next year, 2021, preparing an English version of this book and everything. Yeah, this was one line of my story.
I love it, and I love the energy that you carry with that. And tell us why did you attach a character to your ego?
It's just how it goes with kids, you know. You have a doll, you have a toy or something, and you need someone, because when you go directly to ego, it starts to defend. That part starts to defend of you, and it's grabbing you inside of you so much, and it's giving you that pain. And at the back, you know, if you go deeper, it's giving you, you're not good enough, you have to fight against it. You know, the ego is always fighting, you know, against, and it's not willing to change. So if we go around, you know, around it with the story, with the character, you start to, that's the most beautiful part, you start to divide. That's a part that it is inside of you, and you are stronger, you are consciousness, you are okay, you are beautiful, you are that part who can do anything, you know, what you put your mind on. But this other part has to be here. This gives you muscles. It's not, you know, attaching this, oh, this is not good enough, you know, this is the bad one. No, we have to go higher. This is actually a good part inside of us. All these negative thoughts and all this bullshit, you know, that we have, you know, negative things that we have inside of us, they are not just, let's say, negative. Let's go higher. Those are just, I say it's like in fitness, you know, those are weights. You need that. You need that so that you can grow through that higher, on a high level, you know, so that you can become a better version of yourself. Dancing with this stuff, it doesn't help. But, you know, learning from this, unattaching from these thoughts, building consciousness level, that's when those badgers, you know, everything around ego, it's actually a good help for you, because it's always just showing you, oh, this is something that I have to change. Okay. I know that you are good. You know who you are. You know that you are loved. You know that you are here just to learn. You know that you don't have to be perfect and blah, 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 everything what ego is telling you and all those voices inside of you. It's just, you know then who you are. And that's a relief. You know, it's just, okay, I can finally get to live my life. Okay. Yes, we have struggles. Yes, we have daily struggles, daily tasks to do. Yes, we have to set up goals, but it's just becoming more lighter. You are, you know, you can be positive for everything what you can do. And this part is just showing you, and it's just pushing you, trying to stop you. It's just, you start to know how to, let's say, dance with it. And it's just helping, you know, when you put a character to this. But when I'm teaching my clients around ego, it's just, there are so many layers how ego is sensibly expressing, changing the thoughts, changing everything what I'm trying to express, and it's just, you know, those are the levels how you are climbing up on your personal development. You cannot do it by yourself. I was not doing this by myself. I had a mentor for 10 years, a master who was teaching me, you know, about this stuff and pushing me further and pushing me higher, so that I could reach then and realize, okay, this is this. It's just everything with kids, with being a mom. It was everything a struggle. It was always so much pain. But you always, with consciousness parenting, you always have to deal with your pain. That's what consciousness parenting is. It's about you, your inner world, your inner stuff. The child is just a human being and has his own connection, his own soul, his own path. You are there here just to mentor it, guide him or her, to give him the things that you see at that point, what is the best for life. But in a common relationship, you always have to deal first with your inner stuff, your own inner world, with everything actually what happened in your childhood or maybe past lives. It's also that combined, because we are multidimensional. Okay, but yeah, with consciousness parenting is always, you know, going back to your childhood, you know, everything what happened in school, you know, with you know, bullying and blah blah, everything what happened in kindergarten with parents, with mom, and blah 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 blah, everything. So yeah.
Wow, there's a lot there. So,
is your paper full already? already.
Yeah, we're kind of we're you know, listen, it's like you just you're like I love your energy force that comes out here. So just to take us in there a little bit if you would. I mean, you talked about I mean I'm assuming when you said about depression following giving birth, I mean that's postnatal depression. Have I picked that up correctly?
Mhm.
Why?
Which explanation should I give? Mm, let's say the energy level of the explanation, because I love life. This is just the depression is the lack of energy. You know, base of my knowledge is traditional Chinese medicine. I didn't know at that point. At that point, I was lost. Okay, so I'm explaining from this point, looking back with the knowledge and everything that I went through. It's just it was a path of everything. You know what was happening in my life when I didn't know how to love myself. You know, when I was on the drugs and I was in a safe house and in abusive relationships and blah blah blah. It was everything what was actually where I was losing my life's energy, which is connected to unconsciousness love, to self-love. So when we come to our physical organ, then we have our livers, and our livers, kidneys, sorry, our kidneys are the doors of life energy. It's the flow of life energy, and they are connected, you know, to our breast, to our reproductive organs, you know. So these parts are very, very connected. And when a woman becomes pregnant, you know, everyone says, you are so shining, you look so beautiful. So what is actually happening? It has to be an energy, you know, because when we fall in love, we also shine. So I try to explain this like lamps. If you have a lamp, you know, a light, who is not shining so bright, and then this light becomes pregnant. Okay, on internet, on energy, on the part of energy, you know, through woman, yeah. At that point, sorry for my English, because I'm not explaining this stuff usually in English. I do explain it in my language, and I have to translate and find the right words. So I do hope I'm clear enough. So when a woman is pregnant, the energy level inside of her changes. She's not that poor lamp, she's a brighter lamp, okay? And through her kidneys, more pure light, you know, which a body needs to manifest the child inside, you know, which the body needs. So it's producing more and more, you know, better hormones, the best stuff in the body. So when when the child is born, you know, the energy level in the life's energy level in a woman is going back to the energy level that it was before. Okay, it was just that switch. And then if we don't have strong kidneys, there's a lack of energy in our kidneys, because our kidneys were used to poor energy, high energy, and then we go down. And if you don't know how to take care of this, if you don't know how meditate enough and blah, 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 if you're on the physical level, your energy, on energetical level also, your kidneys are already damaged, yeah, then the depression comes out, because kidneys are full of pure energy, creative energy, manifestation energy, and also the energy of fear. That's why people are so depressed, and you know, it's just with fear, and they're so because they are feeling lack of life energy. This is something that I was training. That's why you said, oh, I love the higher energy. Yes, I'm training myself with vibration, being on a high vibration, no matter what is happening in my life, because I have to keep it clear and keep it high, and training and maintaining, because this helps my physical body, this helps my life, this helps my business, this helps my relationships, this actually helps everything. So this is what it was with the depression, but I needed a lot of knowledge to understand that. Also, you know, I read a lot of studies, but not in English. That's why I'm a little bit lack with words, English words here. So this was this, you know, it's just the depression was something that my body is showing me that I was not doing some of the things earlier in life in the right way. I was so I was in such a hatred towards myself. I almost did two suicide attempts. I was in drugs, I was in alcohol, as I said, in abusive relationships before, and this was everything affecting, you know, I was lost, totally lost. It didn't look like, you know, when people saw me on the, you know, the walls that we have outside, it didn't look like, you know, I said, oh, you were so powerful all the time. Yeah, you were so strong. But inner world was in total mess, total mess, really. But that was like, that's actually what we need here on earth. We need our painful parts so that we can grow. That's the only part where we can grow and find love and ourselves.
Does contrast bring that sort of a version of the energy, the inverting?
Could you
the
say
energy?
it again, because I missed, the line was not okay?
Yeah, so in terms of contrast, I mean, the more, you know, these things, and you talk very almost flippantly about sort of, I'm sure, some fairly major life topics, but, you know, that taking the energy from that and changing positive or negative into positive, I mean, is that the key, do you think? And do you need to have the negative to have the positive?
We are in a dual world, you know, we are here in a physical dual world to express. We have our physical bodies with which we can express and feel and gain experience, you know, for the things that are in life. You know, you have night and day. It's just everything up and down, female, masculine. You have dual stuff. You have pain and you have pleasure. You have love. So it's just life is then showing you, if you are in a pain, you are not doing right something. And you have to go through the tunnel. You have to manage this pain, to in the pain, to in the dark, find the light, you know, in the pain, find the love, in the, you know, also in ourselves, to also find that other stuff is just, you cannot express it because if we go back, just on an energetical level, as we are souls, we are love at that point. We are all love. You cannot find and recognize yourself as love because you don't have something opposite, because everyone is just the same and it is beautiful, okay, but it's different than here on earth and, you know, living our lives. And yes, we need at one point, yes, it's not just exact, the word need is maybe not just the right word, okay, it's just, that's how it is. It's just our consciousness point of view to the situations that we have. That is what is the biggest matter, because you will always have tests, you will always have different, okay, different. These are not difficult situations. These are just looking from a higher source point of view to us here. It's just a situation. We name it difficult or easy. So everything just is. The weather just is. We just are. But for us to express it, we name it then, that it's difficult or hard and blah, 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 and everything what we name it. And it's just, you know, going through that, trying to find the right, you know, consciousness, words, anything, energy, feeling, expression, everything, so that you can really become and develop to a better person. And yeah, you need the contradictions, you need, you know, I don't know the right word now. It's just something that helps you, okay? The pain, it's not actually that you need it at the same, you have different levels, okay? It's not the same at each level. But first in the beginning, you know, there's always pain. If you look at the butterfly and the cocoon, so you have here a caterpillar, cocoon, and butterfly. So we have a cocoon. So it's actually happening everything where? In the cocoon, where? Inside. So if we go there to become from one shape in something, change it inside of you. Let's add here pain so that we can understand more sort of from our point of view. But the caterpillar is not feeling that pain. But if we add that pain of change, yeah, to become a butterfly, to change everything, so probably there is some pain. And if you know how the butterfly is going out of the cocoon, it's actually going out from a very, very small hole. You had the experiment, when you had the students and they were cutting so they could help the butterfly. They cut it, the cocoon, so that the butterfly could fly easier outside, but it could not fly. It needed that small, and the butterfly needs a small cocoon so that it can develop through and stretch muscles and, activate everything what it needs so that it can fly. And if we add pain here, it's probably painful, but butterfly is not dealing, it doesn't have a consciousness so that he could attach. That's painful. Okay. Was I clear here?
No, it actually does. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, and
Okay.
it's funny, and even when giving birth, I suppose, there's going through the birth canal and things like that. There is actually in nature, there is a very specific reason why going birth, in terms of that squeezing process and everything else, that actually, so we've seen it in nature. So the butterfly explanation makes a lot of sense too, really, I suppose,
So
but
it's everything about pressure, knowing how to deal with pressure. If you're in business, setting up goals, everything is not going, as we planned. It's still, life is always squeezing us and trying to teach us through pressure, how we can handle pressure. And that pressure is actually giving us a choice. Which thoughts are we going to pick up? And that is where we put our intention. And when we know how to handle pressure in business, pressure in being a parent, pressures, we know what kind of pressures we have in relationship. Yeah, my dog is here. And everything, in life, in traffic, around money and everything. That's always pressure. Or to look at the sportsmen, how they can handle the pressure so that they can get that gold medal. It's handling the pressure and who you develop through that pressure.
do you enjoy pressure? I mean, does that bring you to your sort of creative space, your flow space?
Out of comfortable zone, yes. Going out of comfortable zone, yes. But I know where's that limit, that I still am in a good drive, that I'm not, under stress. That just means knowing yourself very, very good, but you can stretch these limits. Yeah. It's just handling. When you know how to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, that is just when you accept life, and you just know sometimes what you have to do, and what is.
So tell me, what does fire in the belly mean to you?
What gives you drive and sparkle for life?
Do you have that?
Yes, normally. I do.
And do you think everyone has it?
Yes. Just sometimes that's covered with a lot of bad emotions, bad experiences, maybe fear also, and not believing in ourselves. It's just sometimes if that's covered. But we all have that. We all have that.
And in terms of, I mean, would you say you are your true version of you? Is there a gap between who you are and who you truly are?
Not anymore. It was a gap, but no, I just became to be authentic who I am, and that's a relief for life. And it was a struggle to get here. It was a struggle, but yeah, I just love being me. I just love express myself. I just love to develop now. Yes, I do have fears. Yeah, I have a lot of fears. Okay, I have my doubts, but it's just when you just start this personal development journey, and becoming a consciousness human being, because you have to raise up consciousness very, very high. We are just a small part here now. It's just something that puts your point of view to life on a very different level. It's just, there's a beauty. in everything, and you train. You have to train, reprogram yourself and train yourself to see, the cup, is it full or empty? I don't know, if you look at outside, is the weather good or bad? Is that going to affect my emotions and, my energy and everything, my day? So based with everything what is happening in your life. So yeah, it's just when you know who you are, it's really the toughest question and the most beautiful question and the most beautiful experience you can get. Then life goes really not so easy. You have struggles, you have everything, but you are flowing in life differently and dealing with everything and dancing with all that is.
It's very poetic. I like that.
Thanks.
Do you like yourself? Do you love yourself?
I could say now, yes. I could say that I love myself. But 10 years ago, I could say that maybe I'm okay. That was the first part. And when they were telling me, do the affirmations, tell yourself that you love yourself, I was in such a resistance to that I could go and throw up. Really, I could not say it. And I didn't understand at that point, because they said, something is wrong with me, all those badgers, blah, 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 telling me. And I could not believe that I could love myself. I couldn't believe it. It's actually my life story, because when I was a child, I was super hyperactive child, and I had all the crazy ideas I could have. And my mom was not so happy with all those ideas. And in the part of the countryside where we lived, there is an expression for kids who are hyperactive. It's just that they are like a devil. Okay, so this was something that I was hearing through all my childhood. So everything, whenever I did something, and it was on a daily basis, very often, when I did something, my mother and everything, my father, my uncles, my family, the whole of them. So we are talking from 1 to 6, 7 years old. Okay, me. So everyone was telling me with the expression of anger. So the child always sees first and feels. Okay, with the expression, you are like a devil. Okay, with that expression, not the way I have now, with that expression, with the energy and emotions, not satisfying, anger, also hatred it was, because my mother didn't know what to do with me. I was beaten a lot because of all the stuff that I did. Is that this was something that was, like loading inside of me. A child doesn't have an antivirus program. Okay, it's just a sponge. It's observing everything. So what is a child observing? It's observing everything what is happening inside of a parent. Unsaid words or said words. So the thoughts which are spoken or unspoken. That's an energy. Children are so open. They really absorb everything, all the energy, everything, how parents are expressing, the energy, the face. So it's just a mixture of everything. So this is just me in that position. So I was all the time listening, that I was like a devil, but I was still hyperactive and blah, 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 and doing that and like a fighter. But then when I was 7 years old, I was we were in a church because we are very religious, and a priest said, he opened his book and he said, this is a devil. This is the worstest thing, in life it could be. And I remember sitting at the back, then I did that click, who I am. That first click, the realization, this is me. Everyone is telling me, this is me. I'm the worstest thing in life. I'm the baddest person. And that we don't know as parents when children do those clicks. That's why I was so obsessed with badgers and everything and those voices, okay? Because I knew what they did to me, how I did. I'm not blaming, okay, my parents with going also through all that personal development. It's just, I was really, because of that deeper click and statement, who I am, what they were telling me, you know, children do that very fast. I had the life that I had. I was always in such a pain. I was so afraid to look inside of me. Who could love the devil? No one, you know, no one. It's just, they are throwing it away. And that's why, you know, I was always doing big projects, you know, going on the Balkans into war, you know, at the end of the war, going to help their kids and blah, blah, going to areas. Because that was an expression of my inner world. And then I could connect with those feelings they had, with the experience they had, because I was known with, I knew the pain. The pain was, you know, in each cell of my body. I really don't know how to explain the things that I went. It's just, I was just looking a way out. Yes, one way was the fastest way. I had to do a suicide, so to end all this inner pain. So I'm inside of them, you know. The other part was just, I had to drink so much, you know. It's just, when I drink, it's easier, you know. It's just that pain from the alcohol, you know, it's just so strong, so it covers a little bit the pain that it is in the soul. But then I realized once, when I saw myself in a bathroom, you know, with a bottle of alcohol, oh, let's say that word with B, that's not the right way to go. I have to do something. So it's just, was one side doing big stuff, big projects, rewards and blah, blah, blah. On the other side, you know, it's just that inner pain, constant fight with, am I a devil? Am I not a devil? Who I am? It's just those voices were so strong, you know, grabbing each cell of me with everything that it was. And going through that tunnel, yeah, it was not okay. You know, also drugs, you know, it's just trying to find some relief, trying to find something, there will be no pressure, okay, no pain, pressure. And I had the connection also that when love is actually a pain, because everything, I was never, you know, touched as a child, you know, something like that, hugged a lot. It's just everything, I was a lot beaten a lot, okay. And that's why I had the connection also that love, you know, is mixed up with pain. So it's just, love doesn't feel something good. And I was lost here also. It's not obvious now, you know, when I look at back, I was not so smiling, okay? And even if I'm smiling now, it's not that I'm joking about myself. No, it's just, I even don't know that life anymore. I know it was mine, but it's so apart, you know. I've developed through that so much. I've been working on myself so fucking much, trying to really get out of that. It's just that, yes, it was, that lasted. That's not a period, you know, that lasts, I don't know, 2-3 months and then you're okay. No, that goes, you know, personal development, that really inner change to butterfly. That's 5, 10, 15, 20 years sometimes, you know. It just doesn't happen like that, because I thought in the beginning, you know, that awakening, that will happen, oh, and then everything will change. No, it doesn't go through. There are a lot of small awakenings, you know, recognitions, finding yourself, so that all this stuff with pleasures, with ego, with pain, with past is just melting down of you. It's just melting and melting from every situation. And yeah, then you get out. But never. I was 6 years first in psychotherapy first, and then I still work with my master and from the master's mentor that I had. I have 3 coaches actually now. So you just cannot, you cannot do that change by yourself. I don't believe you can. That's my point of view. Maybe someone can. I didn't. I was such a pain, such a down level that I couldn't do it by myself.
And that's the fact that you're alive today, I find almost a miracle in itself.
Yeah, looking in that way, yes. And alive is a miracle. But yeah, looking back when I, especially when I ran away from the abusive relationship, ended up in a safe house, being almost died, struggled, and blah, 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 beaten also in that part. It's just, getting out of there was one part of, okay, I really have to do something else in my life. I really have to find myself. So it's just everything it was. So yeah, I think more it's like we end up in this life exactly with the situations we need, and we have a power inside to go through everything we have. It doesn't matter. I know that people have tougher situations than I did. I just spoke with a lady a month ago. She was sold. Her mother sold her. It was, oh, fuck. How did that feel through life and development, and what did she have, blah, blah, blah. Or I love stories about podcast and everything what you are trying to do. And then 6 months ago, when I still lived in London, I met a lady because I was doing one research about life and wisdom and blah, blah. And I just, life brings you people. And I spoke with a lady who went through gas explosion. And she had a child. At that point when she had the gas explosion, everything was different. You have to face at one point, with yourself in a mirror. Oh, fuck, how do you do that? It's just, I was, oh my God, skin at that point is just, whoa. And a child was there. And how a child was dealing with that. It's just, I'm very sensitive for everything, what mattered with life stories. So yeah, that was the problem of mine. My story was so small, it's not comparing, but still, going through, I don't know, wars. Oh, when I heard the stories from teenagers, okay, what they were going through, when they were raped, boys raped from men, what their pain, what they were going through. My pain was something like that. Or someone who has cancer at this moment, now in a hospital. It's just, these are the stories which really, shakes you. But we have a power inside of us that we can deal. We need the experience we have, going through different lives when that is everything okay. But we have the power to go through the painful stuff that we have in our life. It's just that something we need someone who believes in us. This is what I needed. I needed someone who believed in me, who was there for me, who was constantly telling me that these voices that are in my head are not true. This is not true. Stop believing in that. And it's not simple, but if you have someone who is telling you, which is working with you, you put the effort to that. Yes, you can come through that. And I think really everyone can do that. Everyone, if you put your mind on, that's the only thing. If you decide not to give up, even when it comes towards the toughest time, when you could just, like the same in business. It's just, I'm going to throw everything out. This doesn't work. It's the same inner work. If you don't give up, and if you stick to yourself and you've promised yourself, if you marry to yourself, it's, in a marriage with yourself, in good and bad, I'm going to be here, I'm going to encourage you. It's just then you have really that the ability that you will come out as a butterfly.
Do you think have you ever been yourself before? You know, in your childhood, do you ever think you were your true self, that you weren't impacted by what was going on around you?
Yes, yes, children do have they, it's just the words that they are expressing and environment, children are just playful. They're switching the mood. They can be angry, they can change, and they are all again happy. It's just, yes, that I was, it's just, when is everything observed, loading, then comes that point of something, just do the click that maybe this is not true. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I'm kind of struck by, it's contrast really, I suppose, and you look at other people's events and you come away with a high energy and more or less saying my events were this, but this person's was almost not, and again, not in a comparison world, I suppose, but trying to sort of say, listen, that would be, to me, that would be so much worse. But yet some people would look at, I mean, your shopping list of things that have happened, that you've mentioned there, from the drugs, through the abuse, through the alcohol, through suicide attempts, through so many things there that have happened through your life. I mean, any one of those would be a huge event potentially in someone else's life, and yet you are where you are, and you have a very, you resonate a very strong and positive energy despite all that.
Yeah, that was a personal development journey. It's just melting that, going through, reprogramming yourself, becoming a better version, uploading. It's just, we have a choice every minute to what are we going to upload ourselves, which thoughts are we going to choose. So I'm just training all the time, observing myself. Should I choose, you see me, I'm trying to find the words. I'm just so trying to really find the better words, higher words, it's just to express, but that won't help my life. I will still be depressed. That can happen, very fast. But it's just when you really know that the responsibility, like in a third pillar of the badger, that you feed your own thoughts, you feed your own badger. You are the one who is responsible for life. It was not easy, okay? Just let's be very honest. It was fucking painful, and so many struggles, so many cried nights. I sometimes, it was so painful that I was lying on the floor, it's actually, how can I explain this? Going through this inner work at unattaching from negative thoughts. It's like the same process is that someone who is trying to get rid of alcohol, is going through the process of that addiction. So we are addicted, used to, known, that's familiar for us, we are comfortable with negative thoughts. Just look at the people, how much they are complaining, that's not helping. Or everything what's negative in the media. You observe negative thought, you can be so good into it, and people, let's just chat about it. No one says stop. So you're putting that the energy. So no. And when you start to work on your personal, on yourself, you have to unattach yourself, from this negative part of your negative words, negative thoughts, and those badgers who you were feeding for 20, 30, 50 years, they are fat. Okay, let's say it like that. So it's easier to explain. And then one day you say, no, I won't give them, negative thoughts. I won't give them food. I will try to be positive, and I will load positive thoughts. I love myself. And when you start to develop and feed your new part, the old part starts to get angry. It's grabbing you. So this is that pain you know, inside of you, because your old patterns, your old self, your, you know, everything, your old programs start to, through pain, through thoughts, start to try to pull you away and give you, try to control your life. Okay, so you have to really work and work to go through that. It's the same when someone tries to get rid of the alcohol or drugs. You have to set up the goal, and you are going to go through a process, painful process, negative. The body is going also to show you, you know, this addiction, the pain. No, it's just going to be painful. It's the same for me. Okay, maybe not for everyone, but for me it was the same. Going through that awakening through ego, to be awakened from the ego. It was fucking painful.
I'm curious why. I mean, you know, and this, I suppose, how is it that you survived and you thrived when others maybe didn't? You know, I'm trying to understand.
Okay, they can. Maybe they responded for a later. They responded for a later. But maybe they will respond for a next life, because you will come back. You will have to do the work again. And yes, I still have a lot of work. Okay, I'm not perfect. It's just it's like, you know, in the wars, when someone is in a war, it's so much pain and so much everything that you have a choice of that beautiful thought. You have a choice to be thinking of what you want, what you would like to be, but not that becomes an illusion. Okay. Thought that comes from your heart, because it's so painful. It's just sometimes, I don't know, for me it was my biggest goal and motivation was my son. If I didn't have a child, I don't know how it would be. Okay, but for me, my son was something that I wanted to become a better person. I wanted to give him the different programs. You know, that's why I had to develop myself. I wanted to give him a better life. I wanted to teach him, that was my big mission, and still is, that if you feel that thing to do it, go for it, no matter what your inner voices are telling you, you know, no matter what people are telling you. But you have to go, you know, in the moral values, go for it and do it. And I had to do the same with me. And then I had a lot of spiritual, you know, seeings and everything, and the abilities that started to open with that also, good and bad. So I had to deal with that also. It's just that I think that, as we said, everyone can do it. Sometimes we need help, but we have that choice where we can think, remember, see beautiful things, because it's crazy sometimes, you know. You can have two people in a street, in the same street, but inner world different. Okay, and some of them will see, this is not okay, this is not okay, this is not okay. The other one is going to see, oh, this is beautiful. So they're in the same street, but our inner world reflects. And so where would you like to be? What feels better for life? Yeah, and when you start to, you know, change your point of view to beautiful stuff, you have to train. You won't feel it right away, because the other part was so strong. You just have to keep going, and just believing is just the faith that someday this will end, the faith that there is more, the believing that you can change, you can be a better person. But actually it's just, you know, also trying to find what love is, because that's everything about love. And it's simple. It's really simple. We just have to put together the things that we know with the things that we do. because we know what is love, but we are just not doing so much. Love is simple. Love is kind. If you stick just for 2 weeks, being kind to everyone, kind to a child, to a person on the street, known or unknown, in a traffic, in a store. It's just, life is not, now it's life, again life, and you are unplugged. No, life is all the time. So love is all the time. Love is unconditioned. So if you stick to kindness, it's not you can be kind to this and this person and to this and this because they are red and white. No, kind. Love is kind. Be kind to everyone. We can choose. You can say, or you can, I can be kind. You can switch and say, and try in a different word. Try with a different expression. Try with a different tone of voice. You can say, good morning, just being unconscious and everything is, you are fed up with everything. You say, yeah, good morning. Or you can be conscious, going, okay, I'm in a rough time now, but you can choose and say, oh, hi, good morning. We can do, it's not a big change. But yeah, when you're going through it is. But in the end, the same as we are speaking now, it's simple. It's really simple. And it's a click away. It's a thought away. Just a thought. And not just thought, action. Because life, who we are, is expressed how we react, what we do, not just what we thought. In the end, is the result, what we do. What was your reaction to a child? What was your reaction towards yourself when you didn't do something or you should be doing differently? What was your reaction in the relationship and everything? So what we do is actually what shows who we are.
Thank you for sharing that, first of all, because I mean, there's so much powerful thing there, and
Scratching.
I know.
Oh, okay.
It is. It's. I suppose so much of it is, and there's almost I think where I'm sort of almost struggling, because in credit to you, your energy now, your approach, your vibrism, your everything, your positivity is a complete, or comes across, I should say, as a complete polar opposite, to the point it's almost almost the picture doesn't match the story, and that's why I'm sort of confusion in my head, if you like,
Yeah, I know. It's almost not the same with me. I could not, I was actually, when I was going through all that, all those situations, it was just, okay, let me be honest, I still am in a very difficult life situations, okay, at this point. It's just that it's just a simple, I've trained myself, I worked on myself so much, going all the time. And this is something, when I see with myself, in myself, that, okay, I feel uncomfortable. Oh, should I call this person? No, I'm going to go and call it, I don't know. I go to a store. It's just feeling, there's a feeling, what would they say? No, I will go there and ask, how are you? And it's just, I've started now to go and do all the things which are unpleasant, because I realized that this won't kill me. This won't, the thoughts they said that they will kill me and that's going to be the worst stuff and the baddest scenario. It's just now I've realized that that's not true. And it is, looking me back, it's interesting when you talk to my two brothers, we're in the same family. They don't have a story like that. But they were with me, all the time. They had total different expression for everything and an experience about childhood. Yeah, there were beautiful moments. Okay, I won't say no, but I was a person like that. I was so open for everything what was happening that I felt so intensively compared to them. They didn't feel that the way I did. The same situations when we talk, it was like, oh, you didn't feel that? You didn't have those struggles? They say, no, I said, okay. And there was one part of life when I thought that I was weirdo because of that. That was also, I was not in the right in my mind. It's just, these are also just everything was just going, all the things that I was just going through. I don't know, looking back now, if I look back for 3 years back, just 3 years ago, I packed my suitcases, 3 of them. My child was 10 years. I had a lot of small amount of money and I moved to London. I didn't know anyone. Looking back, just fuck, how did I do that? Really? But at that point, I was just going, going to that direction. I had to prove this. I have to develop myself. Just going. It's the same with me feeling, looking back, I did that. I went through that. Oh my God. Really?
How much of that do you think is symptom based as opposed to cause based?
Symptom and cause. Yes. When you do something, your inner world, that will reflect like a cause or something, reflect outside. So when you start to change, when your inner world, the cause, is going to be different. The inner world is going to be, outer world, sorry, it's going to change. Not the way sometimes we would like or we expect. We have to unattach from that too. But it starts, it starts to change because new people come, new situations come, new outcomes come because you react differently. It's really the only thing that we have to do is dig in and take care of our inner thoughts first, our inner world first, then we react differently. It's the same as I said in the beginning about consciousness parenting. It's first when a child doesn't, you have to do it, you say to a child 10 times, do that, it's just comes that anger. Or a child comes from a school, it didn't have a homework, it's just, or they were bullying, your own thoughts first come. It's just, yeah, we're going to rescue him. No, it's just, from where did that come? Is this really for his life or is this mine? Oh, wait, what should I do with that? When you deal with it, you try to throw it away. It's not easy, okay? Throw it away, push it away, have it there, not push it down inside of you, but just away and try to be try to hear different thoughts, try to hear the right words, try to hear what is the truth, not in the interpretation, inner interpretation of the situation, of the truth. No. Try to really what's happening. So it's inner work. It's so simple to be negative. Really. It's so simple to yell, to swear, it's simple. Because everyone is doing that, blah, 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 and everyone is just, it's simple and it's easier and you can do it so fast. But the other part, you have to train, you have to stretch, you have to really stretch and change and stretch. And then is when you become, but as I told you, those are muscles, the badgers are the muscles. This is when you develop yourself, and that, the negative part, let's say badger ego, negative, is actually helping you. And it can pull you away right away. It can. Life is always has that tweak, that surprise, How are you going to react? How are you going to react to everything? Are you going to be aware? Are you going to choose the knowledge that you have? Are you going to be a philosopher? Blah, 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 blah about things, doing the other things. Because people now, I see that people now don't need anymore, doctors, blah, 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 who have all those titles, so they can help them. Or, the certificates and everything. No, I think that people are looking really for someone who can help them, who has the life experience, you know, life school, and the knowledge from that, and then they have the solution for them to help them. You know, I have a lot of clients be grateful, you know, they read tons of books, they've been in the, I don't know, millions of workshops, listened to a lot of YouTube, you know, videos, or in a relationship, just be kind. How do I do that to my husband? Just say hi. Okay, I will do that. No, not in that way. Just say, yeah, I will do that. You know, come to yourself. Don't be so struggling. Yeah, but if you have someone to show you, then you have a better option so that you can change faster. Because one thing is reading a book. There is also an inner interpretation, you know, but where's the reality? Where's the real truth about what is written in the book, my inner world, and the stuff that I have to do? If you have someone who can show you how to say the words reprogramming, then it goes faster. And this is something that I had someone who told me, say like this, this, and this, and this. Okay, what's going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. Go and experience and we'll see. And then I was learning and experiencing and learning and experiencing and trying to say it like that. My brother, my smallest brother, was the biggest challenge for me. Sometimes I was so afraid of him. Really, I was so in guilt, you know, towards him. It's just sometimes I said, okay, I was really struggling, trying to be kind. I was, okay, and he could feel that I'm not authentic. It was just, and then he said something to me, you know, and it felt such a pain. And I was again, okay, yeah. And and then the next part when we meet, I was trying, okay, I'll do it now differently. And I was trying to find a different part again. And then at the sixth time, trying to find again a different part. But then it's just, everything, you know, melt away, and that part was not okay. Each part, you know, everything gave me something, and now it's okay. You know, now it goes.
Was there a root cause for you? I mean, are you aware of any specific events that where it all started? Are you aware of that? I mean,
yes, it was one part. It was a family, this life. Okay, it was a family, and everything what happened in my childhood, the things that I've heard, you know, that was very, very for me. And I think for all kids, that's very important. And then I cannot explain it differently. It was the inner drive, like I just felt that I'm a fighter, that I have to fight for honesty, I have to fight for truth, I have to fight, you know, for weak groups of people, you know. It was the same in the school. When someone was weak, I don't know, and someone was judging them, I was always a fighter. So I just realized, and then was a fight all the time, the fighter. And I told you about some of the special abilities, and those films, you know, images also became from French Revolution, from knights, blah, blah. So then I realized slowly that through more than one life, I was all the time a fighter, trying to fight and help, you know, vulnerable people. So this was all the time, also with me, with all my personal journey. So yeah, that I realized that was the beginning, you know. I don't know, maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years of different lives, sorry, also, where I had the same mission, and I still have now. It's just, you know, trying to help people, but now it's the inner world, you know. Before it was something else, now it is an inner world, and helping children, you know, helping, okay, adults, but actually children, because they will live our future. And it's important how we program them so that we can you know, like in a bank, invest we invest in them, thoughts, programs, reactions, everything, you know, also not just towards themselves, in relationship and everything. They learn from that. And they will have then a better base, inner base. I said like inner position, inner calling, so they can develop more in life and build a different society. So it's a double work. You're working actually with a parent and with a child, and you know, it's just that's better than just one. You can do two.
Would you consider yourself, are you quite intuitive then as a person?
And by what? I didn't.
And are you intuitive? Are you aware
Yeah.
of other people's energies and vibrations?
Yeah. I feel it right away. I see it sometimes also. It depends. See, sometimes I see past lives. Sometimes it's different. It's just what it comes, you know. And yeah, I can feel, especially children very fast, especially parents, what they are telling, you know, to children. I can see the programs, what they are inventing, you know, what the child is inventing in themselves. And sometimes I can see the future, what is going to be. It's just, it depends. It's not that something that I'm obsessed with. It just depends here and there and blah. Sometimes it's more or not so often, but I can feel, yeah, the energy right away of a person and everything, because this is something that I was training all the time to really feel, you know, to come into an energy field of the person, the same, the two of us, we are now in an energy field that it's creating, and everything, what people are listening, they are plugging into this energy. So yeah, and there are the actions inside of a person, that's okay. It's just that I'm not, you know, so I don't put many thoughts on that. I know what to do with those stuff, and that's it. But yeah.
And in general, would you say, are you pleasure driven or pain driven? What's your main drive at the moment?
Pleasure. Yeah. I know that I have to struggle. I will struggle with the stuff that I'm going through, because if I have high goals, and I'm here as a person, I'm here that I am now, you know, I cannot reach these goals. I have to develop. I have to change. I have to go, you know, shadow work, do some shadow work again. That's a constant, so that I can change and raise up, you know, more awareness and reach up, you know, more people. Because yeah, my goal is that my books would be in each family, you know, so that every mom could have, especially the first book that I'm launching now, Hannah's Christmas Wish, that everyone on this earth will get it. Yeah, and for that, yeah, I have to struggle. It goes, but it's not so bad as it was before, you know. It's different. When you reach to the higher point, it's different. You have struggles all the time. Who doesn't? But it's different. But yeah, you just train yourself to see beyond that, to see the beauty. You know, it was when I was placing swings for children on wheelchair in my country. I wrote this book, Hannah's Christmas Wish. The book is about the girl on a wheelchair who wished for Christmas that she would be able to walk. I was so shocked when I heard that. I said, oh, the children are wishing for this, this, and this, and this. And this is one child, and her wish was so deep. You know, it made you think. And I wrote a story about it. And I was looking for a higher course, why to publish this book. And few years later, I saw a picture of a child on a wheelchair on a swing, swinging together with a wheelchair. And I did that click. Yes, you know how parents have to be strong to lift up the child. You know, everyone wants to swing, but they cannot. But here is that great solution. And when I Googled it, I saw that in my country, in public playgrounds, there were no swings like that. And I wrote to our president and human rights ombudsman. I said, I'm going to publish this book. I have to publish this book. Would you help me? And for book sellings, I would like to place for swing in a public playground. and we placed 10. And this is the project that I'm launching this year now in November. And yes, I was so happy because I've just started in social media with everything. I'll be so happy if Hannah's Christmas Wish, Instagram and Facebook, if you could just click support, blah, blah, blah. And maybe, I don't know what's the time when you are listening now. If it is from the 10th of November on, you know, then the book is on Amazon. Yeah, we're going to have English version, Spanish version, ebooks this year, audiobooks in English and Spanish, then Slovene version hard book. It's just, we're doing this now. It's just everything so whoa. But it's just that drive, you know, when I saw the first child, and I saw the first child climbed on a wheelchair, with a wheelchair, on a swing, you know, when that boy had his first experience of a swing, that smile, you cannot forget it. You have to give that to other kids too, because they have to play and smile together. They have to. And it's our responsibility to give them, not just in wheelchair. We have with autism and play together, you know, in public playgrounds. So yeah, this is something that I'm starting now on international level. First, this book is the first one, Hannah's Christmas Wish, and then to also divide some percent of the book sellings. And next year, I would like to place first or second swing in some other countries. And then, yeah, each year to place as much swings as we could, just as a symbol to raise up the awareness, you know, with everything, just to wake up a little bit. Also the public place constructors and everything, that we have to think of these kids, even if there are not much of them. We have to think so that they have the right to play and smile. You know, they're also the part of the society. It's just, yes, I'm very driven. So when you have something like that, and it took time, you know, to get, when you have that drive, I just see that boy, you know, who was smiling, and it doesn't care if I have money, if I don't have money, I'll find it. I'll do it. You know, I'm starting the project with zero money. I need a lot of money. I'm going to find it. It's just, I'm going to find it. I'm going to do it. Period. That's it.
I mean, I'm struck by that, and I suppose I find it interesting because there is a lot of disabled people that are actually more able than non-disabled people, you know, and the physical bit is tiny, you know, and mentally they're actually more capable than other able-bodied people, right?
Yes, sometimes, I don't know, you are taken away something and you have to develop something else. So if I don't know, you lose your arm, you have to develop, have to adjust and develop something. Then you are really stretched, you know, life pushes you then. That's why, but we are spoiled, if we could say. We are spoiled. We are so capable of doing so much to each other and with each other and to better our world. But sometimes we are really spoiled with this ego stuff inside and everything, you know, or I don't know, it's just, we have everything. You know, there are a lot of people, you know, you can serve, you can do, you can help. It's just, we can do that. We can be better every day.
There's sort of an irony between, you know, supporting people to sort of swing and be free and you know, to experience that in almost your own journey, if you like. It's you know,
why I don't see it like an agony. I really don't have that point of view. It's just, for me, it's just very clear. This is something I have to do. Okay, this is something that I feel it with every cell of in my body, and you know, all the other stuff. But this is very, very special for me. It's like my child, you know, and that's why it's just I feel it because I know what it's so beautiful. Not just swings. It's just here's this book, and when parents or teachers read this book to a child, it's a little bit different, and it has a painful point inside because Santa comes to Hannah, you know, and he tells her that he cannot fulfill her wish because it's so different, you know, and Santa is sad then. Okay, there happens some magic, but in the end, you know, she can start to walk there because of the magic, and the next day everything it is as it was, but she's happy. She's happy because of the experience. When you read this story to a child and you ask a child in the end, what is that you wish for? And it cannot be bought in a store. Then the beauty comes, then the life comes, then those wishes that we as parents want to hear so much when we are raising up our kids, you know, then they come. We just need to have something because sometimes we don't know how to open our hearts. And this book helps parents and teachers. And it's so beautiful when you see, when a child, you know, says, not, I wish everyone was happy, as we say, I wish you happiness. No, they say it like, I wish that everyone would have a smile on his face. So we see their point of view then. Those wishes are so beautiful. And this is also something that I would like to do, not this year, next year, start to do this art competition and gather these wishes from all over the world, because I would like to see what children in, I don't know, Australia, in Canada, in China, in Japan, I don't know, Russia, what kind of wishes they have. But I'm 100% that some of them are going to be the same. It's so beautiful when you know, you read a wish from 5-year-old one, and it's, I would like that everyone could hear birds singing every day. I was just, you know, those moments that open life for you. It's obvious. They remember us. They can help us. It's not just about the swings. It's also with every part of the project. But it's so valuable for me.
Yeah, apology. I don't know if it was the sound thing, but I was likening the swings almost to a sense of freedom for them, and almost to let them express themselves, to be happy, to be free, to be connected, to be part of it. And I was suggesting maybe there was something even from your own childhood to be, you know, if there had been an opportunity for you to be free.
At that point, yes, there could be a connection with that. Yeah. When we free ourselves from something, we would like to help others also, you know, to free themselves and to have a better experience. Yeah. We could say so.
I think it's just beautiful. I mean, to, you know, swing on a swing, and, you know, it's such a basic thing to bring joy to a child, you know, and it's independence. It's so positive in so many ways, you know. So it's so powerful. What are you capable of?
Smiling. That's the first thing. Being positive, not giving up. Always come and, you know, when I fall, you know, so that I always stand up. What I'm capable of. It's just smiling and being positive, I think. Being grateful. And the new thing that I'm learning now, being humble. Really being humble towards life. And what I've been through, just not grateful. I think humbleness has more wisdom.
In terms of, you know, in terms of things coming up in the future, I mean, how do you see that playing out? I mean, what's your future goals?
Yes, that everyone could have my book. That's one, but it's just to be happy to be happy, to have a great relationship, to finally meet someone, okay? And so that I can be, my goal is that when my son looks at me, I can see in his eyes, yeah, that's my mom. That's one goal. The other goal, yeah, I have material goals, okay, but still, those that I can still go and run in the grass, you know, it's just those simple things that I could do every day and enjoy, you know, or is that in cooking, or is that just, you know, ironing, even if I don't like it. It's just to enjoy, to really, really enjoy and little things.
So what's on your bucket list then? Let's get something out in the universe there to.
My bucket list, to see the North Pole aurora. How would say it in English?
Yeah, the aurora borealis.
Yes, aurora borealis. Oh, to travel with a submarine. That's something I would like to experience. Yes. To have a dinner with Will Smith. Yes, I love the guy. And Oprah. Okay. To be sitting with them. I haven't been on a cruise yet with the ship big. This is something I would like to go. Some of the trekkings, you know, climb up to some of the mountains. What I haven't experienced, you drive some very, very good fast cars, okay, in a safe environment. Also, yeah, go to. I love this. I have to know the right word in English. You know, every New Year you have this big concert in Vienna. To be a part of that concert, you know, something like that, as just to bucket list. Also try to cook some Chinese food. I haven't done that yet. Stuff like that.
That's possible. I like it. I love it when people, you know, having that list, and there's something magical about a bucket list. It seems to bypass the ego, and you know, and over half that list is incredibly achievable.
Yes, and it's so good when you, I've done this, I've done this, yes, I've done this. I saw the volcano. This was also on my bucket list. I wanted to see the volcano, and yeah, I saw it. So yeah, I've already crossed some of the things.
Wow, listen, it's amazing. What's a guilty pleasure for you?
Chocolate.
What sort?
Chocolate. Like everything about chocolate, okay.
Okay, let's narrow it down. Is it milk chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate, or any of the above? You
know, when it's crisis, when you get that feeling, is that you have to get a chocolate. Okay, we have some better. It's just chocolate. Okay. I love everything about chocolate. Everything. No good and bad, just chocolate. Okay. I love the taste, really.
I love it. You'd be surprised how many people that's their answer, and the smile is from ear to ear.
Yes,
it's like this sort of, it's almost like a naughtiness. It's kind of going, yeah, you know, it's great. I love it. You know, it's what it's all about. So for pleasure and leisure, what do you do?
Going to nature. I love to drive go-karts. You know, when my son is going to drive go-karts, I love to drive them, really. It just makes me good in adrenaline, yeah. I like to listen to the good music while driving in the car. I like skiing, even if I was not doing that lately. But yeah, I love skiing. Trying new stuff, trying to do something new in life, or in cooking, or in reading. Everything is just trying to do something new. That's always.
No, it's awesome. I love that, and this, you know, it makes such a difference. So, in terms of in one or two words, what's your fire in the belly?
My fire belly. Feeling of life and being alive in that feeling.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
So who can you serve best, and how can they get in contact with you?
They can contact me on my webpage, alexpin.info, or Alexpin author on Instagram, Hannah's Christmas Wish on Instagram, and the same on Facebook. I can serve kids, you know, and I feel them very, and their parents. So yeah, that's just something.
Do you think people get you okay?
Some of them, yes. Some of them, they have the inner work to do. It's the same with me, you know, when I'm around with people. But yeah, I try to come to them with understanding, with explanation. I'm very good in that. So explaining really what life is, or what's the matter, you know, what are the thoughts, the problems. So yeah, I just really try to really hear a person and come to a person. Yeah, then it's easier.
Is that like your superpower?
I think no. I would say my superpower is my will not to give up. Also in hearing, also in everything. It's just that willpower not to give up.
Oh, that's beautiful. Is there a final message you'd like to leave with people?
I think that everything was said in the middle, you know, and felt. And those felt moments, because the energy was up and down, was the moment when the heart was very open. And that's where everyone received a message. And also me, you know, and also helping. Thank you, helping me with all your great questions and inputs so that I could stretch and remember some of the things. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alex, it's been a pleasure having you on. I wish you all the best for the future. I look forward to seeing the book and reading the book. So thank you. Thank you again.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. And that I was able to share some of the things of my life with you and the audience. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.